Hi, so good morning.
Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Can you please tell me your full name?
My name is Prashita.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me Prashita.
Where are you from, Rashida?
I'm from Chapapirtamor, which is the eastern part of my country, and I live there right now.
Do you work or are you a student?
I'm a student.
Mm-hmm.
I study in bachelor's in my hometown.
Let's talk about cooking now. Do you enjoy cooking?
Absolutely, ma'am. No doubt. I really love cooking, and there's a lot of dishes I could cook.
Okay, can you explain what are the types of things that you can cook?
The types of things that I could cook is I usually experiment different type of dishes.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually go to YouTube and search for the dishes I want to make. Some of the good dishes I make is a pasta,
Mm-hmm.
and I really love burgers. So I have a fine recipe for making a burger.
Is it an important part of your culture to have dinner parties?
Yes, obviously it's important and part of the culture to have dinners in our country. We have it normally also on the Saturdays and the Fridays and on festivals. Yes, it's a very important.
Okay, and what kinds of foods are popular in your country?
The most popular food in our country is momo, which is also known as dumplings. So this is one of the common snacks that Nepali have, and we can find in every corner of the Nepali street we can find momo.
Let's talk about photographs now. Do you enjoy taking photographs?
Obviously, ma'am, I really love taking photographs. You know, I'm a photographer, and I really love taking photos.
And do you prefer to take photos with a phone or with the help of a camera?
There's no doubt I really love to take with the camera itself because you can have the real moment photography, you know, the photogenic, the high definition photo with the camera itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I really will prefer for camera over phone.
Okay. And what do you do with the photos that you take?
I usually take it to my home and I just keep some of the photos to the hard drive,
Mm-hmm.
and some goes into my wallet.
Okay, now let's move on to part 2 of the speaking test. For part 2, you'll have to talk about the journey that didn't go well. So you'll be getting 1 minute to prepare the notes, and after that you'll have to speak for 2 minutes. So here's the cue card, and this is your task. Okay, now you can stop and start talking for 2 minutes.
Okay, ma'am. This is a lot of journeys that do not go as planned because when you're traveling with your friends, you have a lot of different personalities together. So in my case, we had a journey in Goa. We went last summer.
Yes.
So it was a great party festival which was happening on the beach. So I was traveling with my friends, and when we traveled through booking a ticket to the airport.
Yes.
So we went to Goa, and what happened was we were planning to go on the big party and all, and have the experience we never had before. But what really happened was the event which was happening got postponed. So we all were very sad by the news, and the journey was like full of excitement when we went. We were planning together, we were telling to each other, we were just, when we went there, the event was postponed, so we had to come back. It's one of the journey that did not go as planned, so we just went to small zoos and different other parts of the Goa, and we just came back.
Okay, it means that you had a wonderful experience.
Yes.
Now let's move on to part 3. We will be talking about sports now.
Yes, ma'am.
What type of sports are popular in your country?
In our country, the famous sports is football itself.
Mhm.
As globally, it is one of the famous sports in the.
Can you please explain me a little bit more about this topic?
Yes, ma'am. In our country, there's like a not great space for young teenager or someone who wants to go into sports. So, but for football, we have a stadium which is at Dasrat Rangasala.
What are the benefits of playing a sport?
The benefits of playing a sport is obviously there's a number of different benefits of having sports and taking sports. The one of the most important and essential thing that sport gives us is we human beings need exercise, and it gives us exercise and makes our physical well, and it also helps for the mental well-being of a person.
Do you think the type of sports that are popular now will change in the future?
Of course, because it's all matter of trend these days, because it is highly influenced by the trends. So back then we just had football, basketball, but these days it is like we just carry ball and netball, and there's different type of sports that did not used to happen in the past. So obviously there's so many different sports that happen.
Okay. How can sports bring people from different countries closer together?
See, sports is a competition between two teams. So when a big like a side, I can give you for example a side side tournament that happens in different countries every single year. So in this nation there are several countries like India and Bangladesh and different kind of that come together. So it's not just about competition, it's about the coordination and the when people of different nations come together, it will surely make stronger connection and coordination between them.
Okay, let's now talk about young people and their influences. What type of people influence the younger people in your country?
In our country, most influenced, the children are most influenced by celebrities itself. So by celebrity, I don't mean actors and all. I also mean a sports person or activist, or there's a lot of people that that are celebrity in our country. So usually young people idolize them and they want to become like them. So it's.
And why is it important to have a role model?
It's important to have a role model because sometimes we get lost in the path of choosing what we want to become, because there are a number of ways to become what we want to become. So when you look at the idol, and when the idol has become something, you can look at them and idolize them, and you can have a path that you can follow and become.
And these days, is it easy to become a celebrity?
Of course, it's so easy these days because we have a number of different apps that has a very fast algorithm that had been never before. For example, I can give you about TikTok. There's anybody on the planet, if you have a little amount of creativity and little talent, you can surely become a celebrity.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. That's the end of your annual speaking test.